On Wednesday, November 19th, the Improving Passenger Rail in the Empire Corridor Symposium was held in Syracuse, New York. The event was co-hosted by the Empire State Passengers Association and the new Empire State Passengers Foundation. Among the several speakers at the conference was Ray Hessinger, the director of the Freight and Passenger Rail Bureau at New York State DOT. Mr. Hessinger discussed the updating the Empire Corridor Service Development Plan as part of the Federal Corridor Identification and Development Program. The Federal Railroad Administration's Corridor Identification and Development Program was created by the Infrastructure and Investment Act as a comprehensive program to develop existing and potential intercity passenger rail corridors across the nation. To date, a total of 69 passenger rail corridors have been accepted into the Corridor ID program. Each route accepted into the program is granted $500,000 toward planning activities, then proceeds through 3 planning steps, and is prioritized for future federal funding. The 3 steps of Corridor ID are: Step 1. Determination of the scope, schedule, and cost estimate for preparing a service development plan. Step 2. Preparation of the service development plan, which lists details including train frequencies, top and average speeds, trip times, station locations, capital projects, rolling stock needs, ridership and revenue projections, operating costs, economic and environmental impacts, and the project schedule for completion. Step 3. Project development work readying the service development plan for implementation, such as environmental impact statements and engineering design for discrete projects. For the Empire Corridor, the Corridor ID process will be updating the existing service development plan from the Tier 1 Environmental Impact Statement, released in 2023, but based on data and existing conditions going back over a decade. In addition to updating the data and analysis, the service development plan will be modified for phased implementation of the proposed program, and this is the biggest and most exciting news to come out of the Syracuse Passenger Rail Symposium.
Well, how do we get one more? And what do we have to do to get one more? The EIS and the Service Development Plan didn't do that type of analysis. So that's one of the most important things that I think is going to come out of the Service Development Plan for the Empire Corridor is a phased implementation. How do we get from 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 and to 8? Do we have to build 320-something miles of new third track to add 1 train? I would say no. But is it going to be 0? Probably not. So we need to do the analysis in partnership with CSX to see, okay, what do we have to do to get 1 more train? What do we have to do to get 2, 3, 4, and on from there. So where are we?
An emphasis on the phased implementation of the updated service development plan should make the program an easier sell to both the general public and elected officials to readily support and fund, as more near-term benefits, in increased train frequency and reduced travel times, will be readily apparent and easier to appreciate. Rather than saying, $9 billion will get us in 20 years this great service, a cost that is high, and build-out time that is very long, the pitch can be made, for example, that some $2 billion spent over 5 years could get us 2 more trains to Syracuse, and another to Rochester, Buffalo, and Niagara Falls, including an early morning train down and evening return train up, from Syracuse, Utica, Amsterdam, and Schenectady, to and from New York City. This will present the service development plan in relatable terms that people can plan their lives and businesses around. Yes, people want a great rail service, but they also want trains they can ride sooner, rather than later. And phased implementation is not uncommon for large transportation projects, the interstate highways being built out section by section, each new section improving transport for motorists and stimulating economic growth. And today? Passenger rail pundits including Nolan Hicks of the New York University's Marin Institute, who authored the Transit Cost Project's Momentum Report, and railway engineer, writer, and YouTuber Gareth Dennis, have recommended that grand plans for passenger rail infrastructure and service be divided up into smaller projects so that they can be delivered step by step incrementally, with the public seeing steady service improvements in travel times and train frequency, till with the completion of the last planned project, the final overarching grand plan of the new rail service is fully achieved. Such a mega-project delivery strategy would provide momentum to the passenger rail improvement program in government, the media, and among the broader public. To conclude, phase implementation of the Service Development Plan offers a pragmatic master plan for rebuilding and expanding the passenger rail infrastructure of the Empire Corridor, creating a fast and high-frequency intercity service from New York City to Niagara Falls. We know that New York State DOT and Amtrak can do big projects, the two having last decade with a mix of federal high-speed rail grants and state money, built the second mainline track between Albany and Schenectady, built the fourth platform track at the Albany Rensselaer Rail Station, and rebuild the stations in Schenectady, Rochester, Buffalo Exchange Street, and Niagara Falls. And now this decade, they are working to replace the Livingston Avenue Bridge and renovate the historic station building at Rhinecliff, while building a new high-level platform. Yet, the pace of this start-and-stop construction is too slow, with long gaps between major projects. What is needed is a steady and faster pace of construction, with 2 or 3 projects always ongoing, with new ones starting up as projects are completed. To achieve this, New York State needs more than a good master plan. It needs the in-house staffing and dedicated funding to manage an ambitious rail program. There needs to be an increase in state capacity, otherwise the Update Service Development Plan will join all the other rail plans and studies that New York State has done over the past 50 years in gathering dust on the shelf. To help move intercity passenger rail forward in the Hudson Valley and upstate New York, please contact your state representatives, members of Congress, and the governor's office. And tell them that now is the time to start building a new Empire State Express, a fully modern, fast, frequent, and reliable passenger rail service. Let's get started. Let's get moving.